Okay, class 1 and 2. I gave you guys a handout, 1-6, additional practice review. I came across this chart here online, and I thought, oh, it's definitely worth to share. And it talks about the steps for rounding decimals. And there's, probably a dozen different ways that you could do the rounding, but I kind of like this one. Some of you guys are still struggling with this. So the steps for rounding decimals. It says first, draw a line after the digit on the place to which you are rounding. So what do they have here? They have 3.543. It says round to the nearest tenth. Well, where's the tenths place? The tenth place is where the 5 is. And then it says draw that line, and that's that white line you see right there. I'll put it in red. Okay. After the digit to which you're rounding. So we're rounding to the tenths place, as I said, right here, where the 5 is. And it says, draw an arrow to the digit on the right. Well, you guys should know by now that we look at the digit immediately to the right of the number that we're rounding. And it says, if the digit after the line is a 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, then the digit before the line remains the same. And you guys know that if it's 5 or larger, then you would add 1. So in this particular case, it's a 4. And so this 5 here to where we're rounding remains the same. This is what I like. Then it says drop all the digits after the line. So what are all the digits after the line? The digits to the right of the line. So it would be simply 3.5. Okay? So let's just do a couple of these really quick. Some of you I know are not struggling with this at all. Others definitely are. Let's say that I had 7.5291. And I said round to the nearest 100th place. Well, where's the 100th place? Here's the 1/10th. Okay, and right next to it is the 1/100th place. That's where the 2 is. Then it says to draw a line just after that digit to where you're rounding. So I'm going to put a line right there. Then draw an arrow to the one to the right of it. That's a 9. Is this 5 or larger? Yes, it is. So what happens to the 2? The 2 becomes a 3. All right, so it's 7.53. Then it says to drop all the digits after the line. So I don't need to worry about the 9 or the 1. We're just done with those. Let's do another one. 127.486. And I said round to the nearest tenth. Tenth. Where's the tenths place? All right here. So I draw a line just to the right of it, just after it, and I draw an arrow to the number next to it. This is the one I'm looking at. Is this number here 5 or larger? Yes, it is. So what happens to the 4? The 4 becomes a 5. So I put 5 and then a decimal, 127. What do I do with the rest of these? All these digits here, excuse me. I don't worry about them. Just drop them. Okay? Do one more. Let's see here. In fact, we'll make, this was number 1 here. This is number 2. These are my own problems I'm making up here. This is number 3. And Monday I'll see who watched this video and if anybody's going to be able to answer number 3. So I've got, let's see, 27,042.965. I said round to the nearest 100th place. Okay, the nearest 100th place. Where's the 100th place? Right there. All right. So let's see who does this one on the video, and you'll get group points. I'll pull sticks and see if somebody answered that one. I'm not going to do it. I'll let you guys figure that one out. All right, so let's jump to this actual sheet. I'm going to move this up a little bit, and I'll just do a few of these with you guys here. So up at the top, it just says another look. It says an African Watsu steer's horn measures, 90 5 centimeters around. And it says, what is 95.25 rounded to the nearest tenth? Well, where's the tenths place? Right here. Okay, that's the tenths place. So we got to round it to the nearest tenths. Well, so what's that going to be? Draw that line. Draw an arrow to the number next to it. Is this a 5 or larger right here? Yes, it is. So what happens to the 2? It becomes a 3. So it's 95.3. And looks like they already have it there on the page for you. And then it has a step 1, step 2, step 3. It's kind of describing what most of you probably already know in that another look up above. So let's look at number 1 here. So it says Ian mailed a package that weighed 5.63 pounds. LB, that's for pounds. What is the first step in rounding this number to the nearest tenth? What's the next step? What is 5.63 rounded to the nearest tenth? Well, where's the tenths place? Again, 1/10 would be right there. So it says, what's the first step? Well, you can phrase this in your own words, but I would look to the number that is to the right of what we are rounding. If it is 5 or larger, then you add 1 to the number we are rounding. Okay? It'll give you much room to write that, but and you don't have to write exactly this. I mean, you could write your own, phrase it in your own way. That's fine. So let's look at number 2 here. So number 2, 3, 4, and 5, it says round each decimal to the nearest whole number. And we talked about this in class. The first one is 6.7. What's the nearest whole number? The nearest whole number is the 6. It's not part of a number, it's a whole number. So we're going to round to the nearest whole number. So this is the one we're rounding to. So what do? We'll draw a line just to the right of that, look to the number just to the right of it. Is it 5 or larger? Yes, it is. It's 7. So what do we do with the 6? The 6 becomes a 7. So the answer to number 2 is simply 7. Number 3, I'll do that one with you. It's 12.1. That one says, again, in fact, 2 through 5, it says round to the nearest whole number. 2. That's the first whole number. Okay? Draw a line. Look at the number just to its right. Is that a 5 or larger right here? No. So we don't do anything with it. So it's the answer to number 3 is just simply 12. All right, in 6 through 13, it says round each number to the place of the underlined digit. Let's look at number 8 together here. So number 8 is 41.073. What digit did they underline? The 0. So we're going to draw a line immediately to its right. Draw an arrow to the next number. It's a 7. Is that a 5 or larger? Yes, it is. So I'm going to write down for number 8, 41 point. We add 1 to the 0. It becomes 1. What about the 7.3? Nothing. We drop it. Remember? Everything past this line right here, we drop. Don't worry about it. Okay? Let me move this up a little bit. Give myself some more room. I'll do one more. How about number 12? Let's look at number 12 here. Number 12 was 183.92. What digit are we rounding? We're rounding the 3. So we draw a line immediately before the 3, or draw an arrow. We're looking at the number of the right. Is that a 5 or larger? Is that 9 a 5 or larger? Yes, it is. So what do we do with the 3? The 3, we add 1 to it, so it's 183. What about the 9 2? Don't worry about them. You can put a decimal there if you want. You can put a 0 there if you want. That's the same thing as just writing 183. Doesn't really matter. All right, turn the page. All right, 14, 15. Let's look at 15 here for a moment. 15 says, if the area of a park is exactly halfway between 2.4 and 2.5 acres, what is the area of the park? Well, let's draw a number line here, okay? I'm going to call this right here 2.4. And I'm going to call this right here 2.5. So this right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm off a little bit there. Make those a little further apart. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So here is 2.5 right there. Here's 2.4. Where do you think 2.41 would be? Okay, 2.41 would be right here. 2.41. Here's 2.41 right there. Where's 2.42? Okay, 2.42. That's the next one, right there. 2.43. Next one, right there, 2.43. 2.44, right here. What do you think 2.45 would be? 2.45. It's going to be right there. Okay. 2.46, right here. 2.47, 2.48, 2.48. This is 2.48 right there. Then finally 2.49. Draw a little arrow right there. 2.49. Since I can't write that small, 2.49 would be right there, right next to it. 2.49. All right. So the question is, going back to number 15, it says, if the area of the park is exactly halfway between 2.4 and 2.5 acres, what is the area of the park? Well, what's halfway between 2.4 and 2.5? 2.45. That's the halfway mark. So the answer to number 15 is 2.45. That's the answer right there. All right, number 16. Let's move this up a little bit. Number 16. Oh, 16, I think maybe it was the other. I don't remember which class I talked to about this. Lines of symmetry. I think some of you remember this. Maybe some of you don't. What they've got there, it looks something like this. Yeah, it's not too good. All right. And it says, does this line appear to be the line of symmetry of the triangle? Explain. Well, a line of symmetry divides evenly a shape. In other words, what's on one side of the shape is exactly what's on the other side. It divides it perfectly, so there's no difference between the two sides. So if I was to draw a shape here, okay, and I was to draw a line of symmetry, let's see if I can do that. It'd be pretty close to that. And it would be in these two corners right here. right here and here. And so in other words, what's on the top here would be identical to what's on the bottom. There wouldn't be any difference between the two. Okay, and of course what I drew here, there is a little bit of a difference probably, but you get the idea. The line divides, a line of symmetry divides a shape, so there's two equal sides. So number 16, does that line appear? Does the line appear to be a line of symmetry? If not, explain. Okay. Number 17. How can you round 25.691 to the greatest place? This is number 16. And it's 25.691. What's the greatest place value in this? Well, it's not the thousandths, not the hundredths, it's not the tenths, it's not the ones, it's the tens, the tens place. All right, so we're rounding to that number, to 5.691. So if we're rounding the tens place, what do? Draw a line, draw an arrow to the number next to it. Is that a 5 or larger? Yes, it is. So this becomes a 3. So the answer to 16 is a 3, but it does say, explain how you did that. And I'll let you guys put that on your own words. Number, what are we on here? 16, 18, 17, 18 here. 18. A professional baseball team won 84 games this season. So they have a chart here. This is kind of helpful. And then one below it. And then a smaller one here. And so they won 84 games. The team won 14 more games than it lost. So how many games did it lose? Well, subtract 14 from 84. 84 subtracting 14. That number goes here. That's how many games they lost. And then it says, how many did it play? What was the total number of games? All right? So this number here, whatever that answer is going to go in this box right here. And 84 is the number of games they won. 84 is how many they won. That's going to be in this one here. The total number, this is going to be total. All right, total would be right here. How would you get the total? You're going to add this number and this number. And then you'll have the total number of games. Okay, this video is getting kind of long here. 19. I think you could do 19. 20. I think you could do 20 also. That doesn't look particularly hard. And 21, find two numbers that round to 15.5 when rounded to the nearest tenth. Okay, so let's look at that one for a moment. So for number, let's see here, number 21, find two numbers that round to 15.5 when rounded to the nearest tenth. Write the numbers in the box. Well, they give you a box there. I'm not sure why they have those numbers there. Oh, it says find, not write. My bad. Find two numbers that round to 15.5. So what do they have here? They have 15.04, 15.55, 15.508, 15.445, 15, and then finally 15.49. So where are we rounding to? The nearest tenth. So we're rounding to this place right here. So let's do this with each one of them. See what happens here. We're rounding to this right here. So I'm going to draw a line. Is that a 5 or larger? The 4? No. So this is just 15.0. That does not round to 15.5. So that one's out. How about this one? Draw our line. Is that a 5 or larger? So that rounds to 15.6. Okay. And that one doesn't work. How about this one? Draw our line. Is that a 5 or larger? No, it's a 0, so it stays the same. That one rounds to 15.5. That one works. So there's one. It says find two numbers. How about this one here? 15.445. Draw our line. Is that a 5 or larger? No, so that's 15.4, so that doesn't work. This one's not going to work. I can tell just by looking at it, because there's nothing that's going to happen to the tenths place. It's just going to remain a 0. And then, the very last one here, I see it. Draw our line. Is this number, this 9 here, is that 5 or larger? Yes. So what happens to the 4? We add 1. That's 15.5. So there's 2. There's our 2 right there. It's this one and the last one. All right, I'm going to end this video. And I will see you guys Monday. Don't forget about this one. We'll see who gets that one right. All right. See you Monday. Have a good weekend.